Hi, my friends. This is Lada from astrolada.com with your weekly horoscope for the last week of February, the first week of March, the 25th, 26th of February till the 4th of March, basically. And we continue with Pisces season, but with a few twists and turns and surprises because we have a full moon in March now. At the beginning of March, a full moon in Virgo, and we're going to go through how it's going to affect each sign. And how it's going to introduce a little twist there. And it's very occult full moon because it falls on a very occult star, which means that some very profound realizations will be happening. And we also have the beginning of the week, a few aspects that are happening. I'm going to speak about that. So stay with me and please don't just run and jump to your prediction because I'm not going to be giving long predictions for each sign, maybe 1 minute for each sign. But if you get the gist of the energy this week, you'll know what to do. And I know a lot of you don't have like an hour to listen to this, but if you have to listen to something, actually don't listen to your sign, listen to the introduction when I'm explaining the energies of the planets before that. And, that will basically tell you much more what you can expect than just the specific predictions. I just see that I've put my lipstick wrong, but so one is bigger than the other. Don't pay attention. I barely see what I'm doing, these days. Okay, so let's see what is happening. And by the way, before I start, just a reminder, we have a webinar with Nicola Stojanovic on the 28th, which is Wednesday, on the 28th of February, this Wednesday, coming Wednesday, about the astrology of countries and nations. Basically, what countries are what signs. For example, the States is Cancer and Sagittarius, and how to see what places in town or in a country to live in. Or if you don't have to relocate, just within your own town, what are the best places and what places to avoid, like avoid the center, avoid places near water. How to see this through the horoscope. Only $29, guys. Amazing. So, okay, let's start. And it becomes $39 after that. So it's 30% off if you get this webinar till Wednesday. Let's start with first what's happening this week. Mercury, from around the beginning, Monday, Tuesday, becomes visible. And it's been invisible for a month approximately. Just to remind you, according to ancient astrology, the strength of planet is determined not whether it's retrograde or direct, but is determined by whether it's visible and invisible. So when Mercury is invisible, people that are ruled by Mercury, like Virgos, like Geminis, Sun or Ascendant in particular, people that are very Virgo-ish, like who work in mental work, who are clerks, who are administrators, accountants, writers, speakers, media, presenters, anything to do with writing, with speaking, with teaching, with skills, a lot of careers, administrative, also white collar careers of Mercury. So people that are very mercurial, even if they're not Gemini or Virgo, they might have had a little bit more like of a slow down while Mercury is invisible, possibly the need to recharge a little bit, not so many manifestations, things not going so easily. But because this week Mercury becomes invisible, they becomes visible. So the whole week Mercury is in phase, as we call it, heliacal phase. So people that are in mercurial professions, that are Mercury ruled, will start getting empowered, and some very important events will happen in their life in regards to Mercury, in regards to their business, in regards to their accounts, in regards to communications, in regards to important conversations, in regards to their work, connected to Mercury. For example, if you're someone who is a software designer or a writer, you might start getting ideas now. Maybe there'll be a move about making some articles, or if you're a journalist, you might get a new idea because Mercury is being reborn. So new ideas, Mercury becomes visible, new ideas are coming into fruition, which are mercurial, about writing, speaking, communicating, important conversations, important developments with documents, important developments with anything to do with signing contracts, agreement. Mercury is all those kind of stuff. So things can start moving forward to very important developments, and hopefully for the better, because Mercury will become visible, which means become stronger, more positive will happen. But it has a few difficult aspects. It's making a square to Mars, so there might be the start of the week, first of all, some kind of mini crisis, and we're going to speak about that. Well, as we said, we have many planets in Pisces. We have Venus here, and we have Mercury. They're very close to each other. They're following each other almost throughout the whole March as well. And with the start of the weekend, we have Mars here in Sagittarius. And by the way, we're going to have a full moon in Virgo. So we have all the mutable signs except Gemini triggered. And all mutable signs are about, let's give you a general energy. So it's going to be very mutable week ahead, and for a couple of weeks after, for another week after that. But mutable energy is all about shifting, is the mind. Mutability is our signs that rule adjusting your perspective. The mutable signs are the signs through which we perceive reality and through which we, it's very, they're kind of, how do I say, they're connected to how you think, your belief systems as well, visible and invisible belief systems as well. And when we have so many triggers, like a full moon in mutable signs, many planets, Mars as well there, this is time where there is adjustment of our beliefs, adjustments of what we perceive it's possible, adjustment of seeing different alternatives. Because mutable signs, they don't want to fully change, but they want to see what is not working in your current situation and to see what is working so they can improve on the things that are not working. Mutable signs are about improvement. They don't want to start from scratch and kick everything out and remove everything. So it's not time now to like, that's it, totally finishing with something. It's more like, so there is a different way to do that. You finding alternatives, exploring, and the universe presenting towards you different alternatives and opinions that can shift your state of thinking and help you adjust and build upon and improve on things that are already good in your life, or kind of chip away from things that are not good to make them better enough, but not fully destroy them. You can start totally new things when the energy becomes cardinal. So it's kind of, people start seeing different alternatives and perspectives when there is a lot of mutable energy, as we said. So maybe like you see, maybe if you thought, that's it, I can't live with him, I can't live without him, let's give you an example in a relationship, and you're like, I either have to leave him and that's it. But then this mutable energy presents you different alternatives. Maybe you read an article how to improve the relationship, or maybe you read an article that, maybe he's given you an impossible choice before, but now there is some opportunity or some different development that you can envision the relationship happening by improving on it in certain other ways. So it might be with your career, it might be with your personal life, depending what sign you are. But something is kind of shifting in your mind for you to see and to explore different alternatives, not to feel stuck and not to feel like it's either or, Okay. And then when, and exploring and learning, it's mutable energy is fantastic about learning. It's fantastic about these people that are born with a lot of planets in mutable signs or mutable houses. If you know a bit of astrology, they usually are people of the mind. They study, they learn a lot. They constantly expand their mind with learning either practical or bigger things, or spiritual, or whatever, So it's kind of the adjustment of the minds and the beliefs and the skills anyway, and the alternatives. So this week starts with squares, difficult aspect from Mars towards Venus and Mercury. And I cannot tell you for each sign the prediction what is going to be, otherwise this video will be 3 hours, but bear with me. At the start of the week, on the 25th, 26th, Mars first makes this difficult aspect, which we call square, which is 90-degree aspect. Up here, it's a square aspect. I don't know if I'm writing it correctly, but this is how you indicate 90 degrees. Okay, I'll write it like that, the square. Between Mars and Venus, and then Mars and Mercury, the square with Mars Mercury is exactly on the 27th, 28th, but it's basically squaring both of those beautiful planets. What does it mean? Well, Mars is an aggressor a little bit, and is a little bit like through a crisis, it acts through shock. And the square aspect, of course, is an aspect of challenges. So we're getting challenged in some way. Square aspect is about some strife, some fight, something that tries to dislodge you from a comfortable position. And because they're mutable signs, about your beliefs, about your ideas in some way, how something has to be done or how things have to be. So something challenges this for you. Mars, it's like some outer irritator or inner irritator, inner something that usually it will be triggered from outside. Squares help, bring something to kind of irritate you and put you in it might be some mini psychological emotional crisis, or challenge, or it might be outer, which is challenging you how you're looking at something, how you're perceiving something. It's mutable energy, as we said, and challenges you to improve on something. That's the ultimate goal of mutable planets and mutable signs, to improve, to build upon, to make to remove what doesn't work and to leave what works. But it feels frustrating. It's Mars. It's kind of some agent provocateur, either situation or a person that's annoying you in some way, or some inner voice of yours, your higher self, and it can basically, especially Venus rules matters that are connected with relationships. So there can be some stresses at the start of the week that challenge your perceptions about relationship, about agreements as well. Mercury also rules documents, about interpersonal relationship, both planets, Venus and Mercury. So we might be more prone to arguing, especially because someone's belief systems, Mars and Gemini in Sagittarius belief systems, clashes with our deeply held belief systems, because Pisces is another sign of beliefs, so there might be like a clash of perceptions and clash of ideas between you and another person. And you might be the aggressor. Sometimes you might take the Mars role. Sometimes you might be the one that is feeling attacked. But even the aggressor, to react like that, they feel attacked or frustrated for some reason, So there is some challenges that happens here, especially in relationship, that comes from outside, or especially in regards that are connected to work. Mercury rules work, or perceptions about how work should be done, details. Venus rules not only women, but it also rules, women can be more irritable at the start of the week generally. People that work in the arts, people that work in creative fields, Venus, or in intellectual fields, Mercury, that work with information, with data as well. There is some challenge that happens starting at the week. Some frustration that happens. And look, the square aspect is an opening square aspect, because we look at aspects. If you took the class, and we have this webinar with Marina on the 32 aspects of astrology, people say it was fantastic. You can check it out. It's still it's a normal reduced price at $29. You see that they're different. Even the aspects, the aspect from Mars, the square from Mars to those planets, it's an opening square aspect, which has the energy of Cancer, which has very emotional energy. Cancer, each aspect has the energy of a different sign. All the 12 signs have an aspect that corresponds to them. This is the class that teaches you exactly how to interpret aspects. So check it out, guys. People saying that it was very informative, very insightful. So this one, because always it starts from the planet that is the slower moving, it has towards Venus and Mercury at the start of the week, has the energy of this kind of Cancerian energy. So some challenge square about our perceptions, our belief systems, through our communications and, with others, very likely. That makes us react quite emotionally, because it's the Cancer energy that affects our peace of mind. Cancer is about being, emotionally flowing, but there's some disruption that happens there because of the square that is, kind of challenging, and it has the energy of Cancer. So if you feel a bit more irritated at the start, and also Mercury rules children and younger people, so they can be a source of more stress as well. Mercury rules your communication devices. So the start of the week, the first 2 or 3 days only, Mars, be careful not to damage them. Mars is something breaking. Mercury also rules emails and any kind of communication. So you might be Mars can make you feel like very reactive, to go and write someone something and answer them angry or whatever. Just take it easy. It's a square aspect. You're more emotional. It's a Cancer square aspect. You're more emotional. You're clashing your beliefs with others, and this is happening, so it can challenge you to kind of shift and show you different alternatives, that maybe something can be done in a better way. Don't immediately go and retaliate or fight back. Just little bit. When we have difficult Mars aspect, especially the Cancer opening aspect, we have too much emotionally, and it's good to kind of take a breath, count till 3. Maybe someone in your office might be affecting, Mercury rules colleagues as well, Mars rules associates, interesting enough, Venus rules partners. So it's kind of it's through relationships in some way, or some projects that are Venusian Mercurial that can feel some stresses happening there. And as I said, Mercurial projects that you're working on connected with websites, writing, speaking, the internet, communications, Venus with art, with agreements, with contracts, with anything artistic, with women, with relationships, So any kind of such things. Stresses, but it's short influence. If you're not trying to fight for your beliefs too much, and if you're not trying to be right, Mars in Sagittarius always want to be right for everything, and someone will want to be right. That's why you'll find the stress that's happening. But again, remember, the universe, whatever, is trying to make some shift in your perception of reality, that is trying to improve on something that is that can be improved in your life. This is the mutable energy to kind of fix that something that doesn't work, not destroy it fully. So don't be overly reactive and all those things. And as I said, though, Mercury becomes visible, so such things, especially mercurial things, will be extremely active. Communications, information, and important developments will happen. And this can be like a crisis, mini crisis challenges that allows you to make something in a better way, that allows you to look inside and, say, okay, there's a better way to do that. Okay, I'm frustrated and angry that I have to do it in a different way, but, or that I have to fix something, because Mars wants us to fix problems, and then Mercury from the first, second, third starts, this difficult aspect with Mars ends, and Mercury joins Venus, and all the problems that we had with anything to do with communications, with relationship, with siblings, with network, with co-workers, with website problems, with communication device problems, with some business transactions, commercial activities, some communication, writing, speaking, with all those things, they improve because Mercury joins Venus, very planet of agreements, planet of solving problems, planet of peaceful resolution of things. Plus Mercury, and both Mercury and Venus make a trine to Jupiter. Both are doing that. Let me share my screen with you. So we see when the trines are happening. This is from mine, Marina's calendar for 2018. Here it is. So Mercury, the square happens around the 28th, is active a few days before and after. And the trine is happening. Venus trines Jupiter on Thursday, Mercury trines Jupiter on Friday, on the 1st and the 2nd. And this means that, I'm going to stop this. You see me again? Yes. This means that when Mercury is already the whole this period, the 2nd, the 3rd, the 4th is joined with Venus. So, and there is this trine aspect, which is a harmonious aspect now. And this is an opening trine from Jupiter to Venus, Mercury. Again, in this webinar, it explains opening, closing trines. And the opening trine has the energy of Leo, when Leo is a very joyful sign, is a sign of doing something with confidence, is about getting new opportunities and new ideas that solve problems of any sort in an easy way. So what I'm trying to say is that whatever problem started at the beginning of the week, whatever stressors were there, towards the end of the week, or the middle and towards the end, they're all smoothed out. Because what is Jupiter? Jupiter is opportunities. Jupiter is healing. Jupiter, and the trine is healing. The trine is an aspect of Jupiter. Again, if you take the aspect class, you'll learn. And it's opening trine of Leo, enthusiasm. So you find some solution or some kind of the problem gets resolved, whatever stressed you out, or some new opportunity comes, that solves all those things. They evaporate. That happen early in the week. And you kind of get some, and the Leo trine, basically, it's the Leo opening trine, because opening one has the energy of Leo, 5 signs. It's about finding creative solutions, using your creative intelligence and enthusiasm to and basically to do something new, or to envision new opportunities. So to basically to apply your will and to express yourself in more creative way. I'm not saying by painting and drawing and going and apologizing if there was some problem to someone by interpretative dancing. It doesn't mean that creatively. It's more like your intelligence clicks what exactly you have to do to solve whatever problem was there. So problems were there. Don't stress out. Try not to react. Help comes, and intuitively, emotionally, because they're both in water signs, Venus, Mercury, and Jupiter, that heals them. They're in Pisces and Scorpio, which are water signs. Water signs is about having intuitive answers, feeling it in your gut. So intuition really increases starting from, the second, the third, maybe from the first as well, you feel it. You calm down after the more Mars stress energy. Your intuition calms down, and you kind of problems and Mercury, this beautiful configuration, the 3 benefics, Venus, Mercury, and Jupiter configured together in water signs. You have intuitive insights of what to do, what is right to do. You're much more forgiving. Pisces is very forgiving. Jupiter is the ruler of Pisces trine, forgiving. You find creative solutions to matters. Fantastic times on the 2nd, 3rd, 4th. It all says in the calendar much more in depth what it's good for creative endeavors, for spiritual endeavors as well, because Venus-Mercury combination is a spiritual one, for healing, for forgiving, for relationships. So now, good time for relationship, for approaching someone. And approach them emotionally. I mean, no, don't go crying to them. Emotionally means with emotional intelligence. Our emotional intelligence becomes much more powerful because of this beautiful configuration. Before that, we're more irascible, as we said, but it's only there to challenge us to take a different perspective. And this emotional intelligence kicks in the second part of the week, and we're able to solve the problem, forgive, solve some, relationship issue, if you want, forgive each other. Career issues can be solved in a creative, more emotionally intelligent ways, So for every person is different. Again, I cannot go through the 12 signs, but generally, this is the energy and how you're gonna act, and this is what's gonna happen. So it gets much better. 2nd, 3rd, 4th, we love it. Beautiful alignment, the water signs in particular flow, but everyone has their water sign somewhere. Let's say the fire signs, Aries, Sagittarius, and Leo, especially if it's your rising sign or ascendant sign, they have the water signs in their this water alignment that's happening here, positive one, in the spiritual, emotional houses. So they kind of can have emotional healing, something from the past, resolving it. The 12th house, the 8th and the 12th and the 4th house are about finding emotional balance, emotional intelligence, powerful intuition that comes to them how to act. So they should listen to that emotional support. The water signs, which are Pisces, Cancer, and Scorpio, it's happening the 1st, 5th, and this kind of energy, 1st, 5th, or 9 houses, which are inspirational houses. This kind of healing, this kind of ease that's happening, this kind of creative energy that's flowing, this kind of spiritual insight. It's affecting them directly in regards to the path they're walking in regards to some creative ideas they have. The 1st, 9th, and 5th house are very creative, are very inspiring, are very bring confidence, bring ability to manifest easy, so the water signs feel it the most. The air signs, Gemini, Aquarius, and Libra, feel it in their material houses, 2nd, 10th, 6th, Artha houses, which are earth houses, basically. So the water signs, especially if it's your ascendant Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, the second part of the week can have very positive, some creative way, through some resolution, through some kind of opportunity, through some kind of blessing, through some kind of easy way, to maybe something to do with money, with career, with their work, with some practical tasks, with some material manifestations. And of course, the earth signs, which are Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn, it affects them in their relationship houses. And house, which is the third. So this trine that happened in the second part of the week, the third, the 11th, the 7th. So good things happens to them in relationship, by communicating with others, by building bridges, by making promises, by agreeing to collaborate with others. Some kind of people are more involved, their communications are more involved, and that's where they have powerful emotional intelligence on how to deal with such people more. So check from your sun, moon, and ascendant. You might cover all the areas of your life, but usually the most important is from the ascendant, the moon, the sun. Okay, so what else is happening? So Mercury is becoming visible this week. We said, just like Trifon Nikolov, if you check the prediction, he says the start of the week, though, Mercury is visible, important developments with Mercury, with communication, but they might be more stressful, and then everything kind of, you find solutions for it. But we have also the full moon. Full moon is formed when the moon and the sun are opposite each other, and the moon has the fullness of reflects the fullness of the sun. Let me share with you how it looks. Share. This is the chart of the full moon. Look, the sun and the moon are exactly opposite each other. It's happening, basically, the moon will have full visibility at 11 degrees Virgo, but it's part of another configuration. Neptune is there as well. And Venus and Mercury, but they're a bit further away. But I'll tell you why I like this full moon. Yes, Neptune is there. There's certain illusions and lies that the moon opposition means there is some tension in you, that there is someone or something from outside confronts you for you to discover something, because the difficult aspect, something that was illusory. Neptune and the sign Pisces, that are part of this, indicate some self-deceptions or deceptions from other places. And the moon in Virgo is the opposite of Pisces, and Neptune, the ruler of one of the rulers of Pisces. Neptune is about illusions, seeing what you want, also having idealistic vision, and dreaming of something. But often what we dream of doesn't necessarily mean it's never going to happen, but there is something unrealistic there. And now this will be exposed, because the moon in Virgo enhances the qualities of Virgo for a couple of weeks, especially 2 days before and 2-3 days after the full moon. And it means that we're not only lost in Neptunian dreaminess, and I told you now Neptune season is time to manifest miracles, to imagine the best possible outcome, to envision what is, because Pisces is a sign that taps into the invisible energy. With so many planets in Pisces, we have to tap into the invisible potential and imagine the best possible outcomes, and hold it in our imagination, which is ruled by Pisces. Hold it as a reality. Try to fill it with feelings. Pisces is a feeling sign, to infuse it with feelings, because you can manifest it more. And it can become reality later on. But now you're making the seeds with all this Pisces energy about creating some alternative reality, which you tap through the invisible world by your imagination, and holding a higher vision and better vision. For example, you hold a higher vision that your husband will treat you better, rather than, or hold a higher vision that the result of what your career is, and you try and feel it. Last week's video, I spoke about that a lot. But now we have to also include, there is the twist here with this full moon, discrimination, which is Virgo. Virgo is the opposite. It looks at the facts, not at what might be in the universal pool of possibilities, which is Pisces. Not what might be and what could, but about what is. Virgo is practical. These are the facts. It's down to earth. It's critical. It's discriminating. So now we include, towards that dreamy Piscean energy, discrimination as well. And we bust through some lies. And you know what? The full moon is full illumination. The full moon is full intuitive realization of something. You know it. You don't even, it's kind of not even in a rational way. You just know it, and you know what is not working. Virgo is what is has to be fixed, you know. Pisces is what's the best outcome, imagining it, but also you get some intuitive realizations now with this full moon, and the full moon is happening on the 1st of March. So the whole week is under the influence of the full moon, and actually the next week after that. So you will be experiencing some powerful realizations intuitively, almost like, aha, full moon gives this kind of clarity. It's like a beam of light that's shown on the moon, and the moon is our subconscious, our inner motivations that we're usually not fully aware of. The moon is full of light just one day of the year, or two days of the month, sorry. So only at moments can the full truth, never the full truth, but can more of our subconscious be illuminated, and this happens when we have full moons. Let me go back to the screen. So yeah, so there is this full intuitive illumination of something that, of some practical things that we have been omitting, because Virgo kind of becomes aware of the practical, realistic side of and what is not working, how to fix it. So you have those ideals of Pisces. You're envisioning, you're starting to shift your consciousness to envision better, you know, alternatives, so better possibilities. But maybe there was something, because here the sun is with Neptune, as I said, something about your vision is not fully realistic. And I said miracles do happen, but say if you are dreaming that your wife will raise back from the dead, I mean, like, it's very extreme. Or if you're dreaming that you'll be a ballet dancer and you're 60 years old and you're going to be in the Bolshoi, the chances are very small, you know. There's always very extreme examples I'm giving you, but it might be something small. You're envisioning this, for example, this job that is better for you, that you want a better job, but you're kind of envisioning that you want it, that you want, now you're at middle management position, that you want to be the 3 positions above, and you're envisioning that you're 3 positions above and that you want it next month. Well, it's a little bit unrealistic. So Neptune is about this kind of, when it makes opposition with the moon, about realizing and getting full kind of intuitive understanding and more critical discrimination, which is Virgo, in regards to something about our dreams, something about our manifest potential that we want to manifest, that is possible. And as I said, everything is possible, but we kind of have to whittle away some of the very unrealistic things. Or maybe it's a relationship. Maybe you're dreaming away about your partner becoming gentle, and envisioning your partner becoming gentle and loving and acknowledging you, but you yourself are nagging and saying hurtful words to the partner, and you're blind towards that. And now this full moon in Virgo will help you become discriminating towards yourself and illuminate with some intuitive understanding that maybe you're also doing something wrong, you know. Or maybe you're too critical on yourself about your relationships, and then you realize that it's not only you, there is some kind of lie, that there is some kind of a deception that is coming from the other side as well. But there is illumination of such kind of deceptive situations. There is kind of more discrimination that you show, but not to kill your dreams, not to kill, because Pisces energy is very strong now. This full moon in Virgo doesn't want to kill your dreams and to kill your ideals and to kill the miracles that are possible now by envisioning. It just wants to introduce a dose of reality and practicality, or even kind of some answers and full answers, illumination, you know, about how to go about it, and how to not do it in a way that's gonna leave it just, you know, as a fantasy, Neptune. How to go about it that is going to eliminate the more impractical sides of it. So this whole week, you're going to be feeling such things. You will be like, yes, inspired towards a bigger vision, maybe seeing things from a different way, you know, Pisces envisioning, continue that. You can manifest more miraculously, but you can but this dose of practicality and self-analysis and discrimination, what is the hitch, what is the blockage, how to improve it, and what practical steps to take towards it also comes into play. So it's not only now fantasy. Over the next 2 weeks, there's practical kind of ways to go about it and to remove certain illusions about those, visions that you have for yourself. Okay, so let's see. Let's quickly go through the signs, how it might. And by the way, the moon is at 11 degrees Virgo. And let me share my screen again with you. This falls when it comes to constellations. Sorry. Here it is. It's the star. It's around 10 degrees, 11 degrees Virgo. And exactly the eclipse is, not the eclipse, the full moon is at 11 Virgo, which falls in the constellation of Leo on a star called Zosma. So the actual constellation is Leo, but the tropical sign is Virgo. And on Earth, we live in earthly conditions, we manifest the tropical, but there is the star Zosma. I wanted to show it to you. What does it mean? The Zosma is a super occult star. If you've, oops, what am I doing? I'm gonna stop that. And you're not gonna read it here. Here in what we have on the internet, they give description of Zosma that actually recently translated ancient texts from Hermes don't give. They say selfish, egoism, immorality, meanness, alcoholism, poisoning, but actually Zosma, according to ancient Greek, ancient Egyptian astrology, which comes from Hermes, Zosma has the quality of Saturn and Venus, and I've seen this. I've seen it. I've checked it with thousands of horoscopes. Wow. Which is a star of astrology. It's an occult star. So actually there are about 30 stars in the sky that are very special, that can give special occult knowledge or wealth, that can give leadership, that can give big failure in life. And they're covered in the fixed star webinar that I have with Trifon Nikolov. He speaks according to recently translated very ancient texts that we've been checking for the past 5 years, 10 years actually, how correct they are. And wow, I mean, this gives you insights into the horoscopes of people, because in Western astrology often we forget the fixed stars, but the ancient mostly use the fixed stars because they're bringers of consciousness and special talents. And this full moon is happening on one of the 3 occult stars of astrology. It was called the Star of Astrology Zosma. There are 2 other ones. Check out the webinar. It's only $99, and it covers knowledge that you're not going to find on the internet, and that's been checked. And that's ancient Hermes knowledge. Hermes is one of the creators of astrology according to Egyptian mythology. Okay, so what does it mean? Powerful. The 11th, this star Zosma. With the full moon is illumination, seeing something, having an aha, a eureka moment, having a manifestation, because the moon rules the material processes of growth on the earth and manifesting on the earth, just like the tides are high when the moon is full, just like blood comes out more of the body when the moon is full, just like plants grow more when the moon is full, hair grows more when the full is moon. So it rules material manifestation, especially in Virgo, earth sign. So there is powerful material occult manifestation through tapping into occult energy. These are magical stars, of ability to manifest, of ability to, how do I say, to have powerful occult insights, answers of questions that you had. And what is the astrology is to give us answers. So I think some people will have really powerful manifestations in a material way, through occult, through tapping into invisible forces, through astrology as well. So maybe this video is going to help a lot of people. I pray to God before every video that it happens, but that it gives you some powerful answers. Astrology, and actually, if you ever want to start studying astrology, or if you ever want to start an astrology business or anything to do with occult, do it this week, guys, on this full moon. basically around, what is it, the first, second, third, and we have this powerful spiritual alignment between Venus conjunct Mercury, which is combination for spirituality, trine Jupiter. The second part of the week, it's fantastically spiritual energy, but you also can manifest through anything. Oh, if you always wanted to have an astrology reading, but you're like, sometimes it's not good periods astrologically to have an astrology reading. It can be more foggy, the head of the astrologer, or just you can get wrong information. We're humans. But do it the second part of this week, because the full moon illuminates all those occult sciences. So just go to a psychologist, go to a regressionist, anyone that is kind of dealing with hidden forces, hidden occult forces. And occult doesn't mean like, pentagrams and Baphomet. And occult means secrets. That deals with the secret, with the psychology, that deals with the answers that we're usually invisible to us. Astrology does that, and it's almost in an intuitive way. And other science like regression, like counseling, can also do that. Nowadays, occultists are often healers, are often basically psychologists as well, and hopefully astrology will come more and more into it. So what I'm trying to say as well is that it's kind of, there's this occult energy that helps you discriminate, get answers, Virgo, and bust up some lies and illusions in regards to the potentials around. Okay, but this Virgo, this full moon is about manifestations. Full moon is, as I said, the moon is about growth, material manifestation, something showing its potential. So each sign will be able to see certain, and busting through some lies that, or some deceptions that, and discriminating through them, having intuitive understanding and realizations that have been undermining you about achieving a bigger vision and potential in your life, which is Pisces, and being in the flow, which is again Pisces, and miraculously manifesting, which is again Pisces. So let's see very quickly. Aries, it's in the 8th house. You might have some powerful intuitive realizations about what it is that in regards to your second 8th house, resources given, receive with others, how much you give, how much your partner gives, how much you receive from the universe, how much you're worth, how much others are worth. And there might be some powerful manifestations, because full moon is about seeing results in regards to receiving money from others, alimonies, taxes, some positive developments with that, and also having to take some practical actions of what's not working there to whittle it away, or between your give and receive dynamics with others. Or self-worth, your self-worth, which reflects how much you receive from others. Some people just give without allowing themselves to receive from others. So there will be certain realizations, discriminative realizations, what to do. For example, if you're in a business partnerships, you're in your money with someone else, and the partner is not doing much, and you're the one doing all the work, or the opposite. You might be the one not doing much work, and the partner just doing more work and contributing, which is this dynamic of second 8th house. So some realization can help you balance this out, so to speak. But also you can have more manifestations in practical way about deep psychological matters in your life, because the moon is in, I'm talking total rubbish. If you're Aries, this is the 6th house. Sorry about that. Scrap this. Oh my God. Let me just look at my things. I was thinking about my ascendant. That's it for Aquarius. Everything I said till now is for Aquarius, basically. Sorry. So if you're Aries, it's in your 6th and 12th house. So there might be, the 6th house is your work. So there might be some manifestations there in regards to your work and what it is you have to do to manifest something to do with your work, with your daily routines. Also about your health, there might be some answers, practical answers about your health, about your routines, about what to do in a practical way to improve your health. Or they might be using the results of something in regards to your health, in regards to your work. If you've been working on some project, you might see what if there are some delusions in the work team or with colleagues or about the work project, or if there's some mistakes and mishaps, Neptune some omissions, and to fix them with this more discriminative energy of Virgo, but also manifest in that area. If you're Taurus, it's happening in your 5th house, so you show more discrimination in regards to your love life, and in regards to if there's certain deceptions that are self-imposed or from others, this Virgo full moon can clear it up, but also you can have manifestations in a material way through love life, through emotional realizations about your love life, intuitive realizations as well, and you doing something practically about that, to seeing the results of some creative project. Or 5th house is also your children. Maybe something happens that your children manifest somehow in a practical way, or you have intuitive kind of, you're able to discriminate what might be affecting your relationship with your child, so you perfect it so you can have the ideal of that relationship, with children, lovers, or creative projects. Then if you're a Gemini, it's in your 4th house. This basically it means that you can have some intuitive aha moments, which is the full moon brings in regards to your family, relationship, family, and practical realizations how to fix the relationship, what's not working, if there's some deceptions between you or some misconceptions or some misunderstanding, which is Neptune, this fuzzy energy, that is happening in your personal life through family. You can become aware of it now and fix it and improve it. And as I said, I like this full moon because it's also trine, which is a very helpful aspect, Saturn. So we practically resolve any deceptions. Saturn allows us to practically resolve these deceptions from the opposition. This is how we show opposition with Neptune. Also, if there are any issues with property, so if you're trying to buy, sell property, change something in your house, in your family environment, in the relationship with the family, this moon gives you illumination how to do it, how to approach it, the practical steps to take for that, so you can see the results. Maybe you can finally sell a house now, seeing completion, full moon completion, practical results. Maybe you can finally finish that or start that, renovation or something like that. Or can have clearing up of some misconceptions because you show more discrimination in regards to members of your family, and how to approach them so it improves the family situation. Okay, if you're Cancer, it's happening in your 3rd house. So there might be some 3rd house is your communication overall. There is illumination, maybe answers, missing information that comes to you, critical, practical pieces of information that the moon illuminates and puts its beam on that you received that was missing, maybe some documents, maybe some important letter or email that you've been expecting can manifest, full moon, full manifestation. And if there are some miscommunication, 3rd house is communicating, Neptune opposition, maybe some false information can come to the surface that you discriminate through some mistake that was made by word of mouth or in a document or in something to do with writing or speaking or communicating with someone, can come to your awareness. And some omission or maybe some lie, can be cleared up by you showing more discrimination and more practicality, Saturn trine. And also in relationships with colleagues, with brothers, with sisters, with workmates, there might be the fruition, or if you're working in some small projects with a small group of people, 3rd house, you can see results now, the manifesting of it, and basically also fixing of some mistakes, and how to improve relationships with such people and communications, or some commercial activity. 3rd house is working on some project as well, using your mind, your skills, then how you can improve on it, with what are the practical steps to take to improve on it, and to remove certain mistakes or to remove certain untruths in your communications, let's say, or in how you're approaching that project. If you're Leo, it's in your second house. It's connected to resources, maybe some discrimination in regards to how to be more practical with your resources. And it's give and receive energy, basically. So, you know, how much you're receiving from the universe, how much you're worth, how much you're giving as well. But the second house is connected to resources. So when there's a full moon there is some eureka moment or some clarity that comes to you and gives you practical answers to how to improve something in regards to your assets, in regards to your financial situation, maybe even manifesting something that you wanted materially. That, you know, and plus there is some kind of a clarification through discrimination in regards to give and take money situations. Maybe there was some omission, some mistake that was made with payment that comes to the surface that has to be, you know, now that it's illuminated by the full moon, or maybe something with payments or something with your money or something that your partner, eighth house, other people's resources, is taking more or giving more, or partner or clients' money of some sort, some kind of unclarity is clarifying, and also you're getting more practical vision of how to fulfill material financial situations and removing certain illusions when it comes to those material financial situations that are unrealistic. Okay, then if you're Virgo, definitely the full moon is happening in your sign. Powerful occult powers are given to Virgo rising people, Virgo sun and moon. The spotlight is on you, Virgo. It's happening in your sign. And everything that I spoke in the first part about the full moon applies to you. Powerful realizations, intuitive, powerful, especially if you're around the 11th degree. It means if you're Virgo born, you know, like the start of September, the first 5-6 days of September, this is where the 11 degrees is. Or if your ascendant is around, you know, the 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 degrees, this full moon falls very close to your ascendant or to your moon. But all Virgos, they're kind of in the spotlight. They can manifest more with their personal initiative. They can be the resolution of some, because you see the sun is opposing from the seventh house of relationships. So they might be more powerfully discriminative and have a powerful intuitive realization of some sort in regards to something that is misleading about relationships or promises or other people. And that allows them to stabilize through, you know, Saturn. Saturn is making a trine aspect, which is in Sagittarius nature, trine Sagittarius nature aspect, because it's a closing trine, basically. Again, the planets in aspect course with Marina will show what it means. It's about truth. And Saturn is about, you know, making this trine aspect to Virgos. It's about, definitely it's about some opportunity to integrate more truth and to dissolve some illusion that comes to you from others, and to be more discriminative in regards to your own actions, because the moon is in your first house. You know, more, you kind of get answers how to act and how to be more, how to change something about yourself or whatever. That will also fix relationships, contracts, relationships with partners, with clients, with other people, you know, personal life. And you find some truth or some advice through the Saturn that comes to stabilize those relationships, basically, or to stabilize your whole life, because it's the trine is coming towards you and your whole actions. But yeah, there is the manifestation of something that you might have been working on before as well. So pay attention to that. That usually when there was a full moon on my sun within, you know, very close, it was very successful month. Full moons are about manifesting. Okay, if it's in Libra, it's kind of in your 12th house, this full moon, very intuitive. 12th house is the invisible world. And you're getting intuitive realizations about but with practical solutions, because it's Virgo. And intuitive, almost like you can look at someone and know what to do and how to approach them and what they need to get fixed and what they have to do. It's like it's an inner knowing, this 12th house. So you're getting inner and your emotions become so powerful. Your inner world is just so emotionally, intelligently discriminating. And there might be the need to discriminate between some kind of, because it's an opposition with Neptune in the sixth house, some kind of actions that you're doing which are self-sabotaging your work, which are self-sabotaging your progress overall, and you clear those away basically. And some truth will be integrated. The trine from Saturn, Sagittarius trine, closing trine basically to the moon. It's a bit abstract, I know, but the 12th house is a bit abstract as well. So it's almost like 12th house is also what we have to eliminate from our life and remove and let go of it. And you're getting very practical thoughts and very practical ideas about what you need to eliminate what is no longer needed somehow, and intuitively knowing it, or to at least improve on. And the 12th house is also completing something, ending something. So you might be completing some practical project, and that you have to whittle away certain mistakes or confusions about, that you become aware of certain things that you're working on, that practical projects that need fine-tuning more, the solving of those Neptune mistakes because of the opposition, and removing some illusions or confusions there. So there is completions there of some sort. Then if you're Scorpio, it's in your 11th house, the full moon. There might be illumination, and in regards to your friendships, in regards to your social environment, in regards to, there might be the completion and the manifestation of some bonus. 11th house is gains, of some recognition, of some kind of title and honor, or just more financial gain that can come. Materially, you can do that, or you can just realize, and because full moon is about realization, intuitive, getting into the full knowledge of something, or at least illuminating more of those subconscious patterns, what practical steps to take in order to improve your gainfulness, to improve your friendships, to improve your social environment, any activities that are connected to group activities, or and if there is something untruthful, say in your friendships or in your internet connections or networks of acquaintances, or in your goals and dreams, the 11th house, you kind of can whittle it away with this Virgo full moon. You can become aware of something that is unproductive. So your goal, your dream and wish, which is the 11th house, is to to whatever your dream and goal is, you can, I don't know, whatever it is, but whatever it is, you can become aware of something that is more unrealistic there, and it can give you practical answers into how to proceed to fulfill that dream. Okay, and if you're Sagittarius, it's happening in your 10th house, so it's all about your career. So maybe if there is some, you can become more conscious about some tension between your career and your personal life. The opposition is with the 4th house. So maybe there might need to be the sacrifice of something to do with your personal life a little bit, or with your career, that you have to compensate. The oppositions are about compensating, about the work personal life balance basically. Or it can be that you find out something about a boss or authority figure, something that is not fully, that you are not fully aware of Neptune, or that you are not fully conscious of, and that you become more discriminative towards, and you're like, okay, so this is how the situation and the facts are. But also, because it's in the 4th house, it might be that some circumstances in your family, something you're aware of that something that you are not aware of in regards to your family, you become aware of such circumstances that directly impact your social status as well, in your career goals. But there is also the possibility of manifesting in your career. So maybe seeing the results of some actions or projects or work connected to something to do with your social status, with your career of some sort, your career social goals, the 10th house, seeing material results of that. And seeing practical steps how to, achieve it. Then Capricorn, Capricorn, it's in your 9th house. So the full moon in the 9th house, and Saturn from Capricorn is making trine to this full moon. You kind of, sorry, babies, I think something happened there. But you can kind of manifest, because full moons are about manifesting and seeing the results of anything to do with higher education, anything to do with studies, higher knowledge. Fantastic time for higher studies like astrology or higher knowledge of some sort, researching such spiritual topics or topics of meaning in life, or just researching or studying something that is going to bring more meaning in your life, that's going to introduce new potential for your future in some way. So your mind will be strongly, especially the higher mind, will be strongly stimulated. And you might be finding some wrongful facts, Neptune in the 3rd house with the sun, that or omissions in regards to your communications or daily communications with others, or information, that you become more discriminative and see it from a higher perspective and become aware of, okay, my relationships with coworkers, siblings, workmates, or anyone you communicate with is kind of, there is something there that's not right, something that is more misleading, which is Neptune, and you become discriminative of what it is. You see it from a higher perspective. Also, you can get advice. The 9th house is advice from a mentor or from a book or whatever. This is the 9th house, is how God communicates, sends us messages, the higher mind sending us messages about the bigger picture. So you can find some practical solution from a different perspective, from a higher perspective, almost intuitively as well, because it's the moon involved, but it's a practical solution, seeing things from a different perspective, higher perspective, that can help you resolve some issue, and that can help you discriminate about the truth. The 9th house is also about the truth. So there is some definitely finding out some truth and some fact that helps you hone your dreams, and that helps you hone a more realistic expectation of the truth as well. But some truth and finding out some practical ways of how to achieve that goal as well. Okay, and then if you're Aquarius, this is happening in your 8th house, what I was talking about, Aries at the start. So there might be some fulfillment of matters connected to other people's resources. Money can come to you from a client, or if you work in business partnership, the money can be, and if you've implemented some new project in the last few months, now you can see the material results of it coming to you through others, through the universe, through, if you collaborate with others, support from others in a practical way, that you can see material manifestation that comes to you from others. But also it will expose to you something that you intuitively understand, something that you're not, either partner is not putting enough, or that you're not in some partnership putting enough when it comes to your resources mutually. And you can have also powerful occult realizations. 8th house is about our psychology, our secrets, and Mercury there discriminates through Virgo moon discriminates through some kind of possible self-deception, which reflects in which directly reflects on your relationships with others in some way. Sorry, my mind is starting to slow down. It's been a long time I've been talking now. But 8th house is also, you can see some illumination about some secrets. You know, the spotlight of the full moon is in the 8th house of secrets. Some secret can come to the surface. Intimacy, 8th house about sexual intimacy, sharing with others on a deep level. And that you can have like a practical understanding of what you have to do to deepen that intimacy, or what you're doing wrong, or a partner to sabotage that intimacy, so you can improve it in some way. And other people's resources, everything we talked about. Say, for example, you might discover that you have to, what practical steps to take, you become aware of them, full moon, in order to increase your partner's resources, in order to increase business that comes to you from others, or manifestation through others. Okay, and if you're Pisces, of course, it's happening in your 7th house, the full moon. It totally illuminates your personal love life or personal, let's say, relationships and business relationships. So there is a big spotlight if you're Pisces, ascendant especially, sun and moon to a lesser degree, but still important. Very important developments in regards to, for the next 2 weeks, in regards to relationships. You can see fruition of some relationship going to the kind of to the next level, or relationships going, and it might be business or personal relationships, like signing of a contract or some promise or agreement to work with someone in a practical way. And also you having realizations of what you have to do. If you've been deceiving yourself, Neptune in your first house, about some relationship or some collaboration with someone, personal or business relationship, you can become more critically aware of it. And actually, when others can be more critical towards you, approaching you to the Virgo full moon, so they bring into your awareness of what you're not doing right in that relationship. It's not only the blame on them, and also someone can approach you more critically to show you what you have to change within you, or what you are self-deceiving yourself within you. Or you can become aware of how a relationship, how to discriminate better in a relationship. So and what a partner, what needs to happen in a relationship in practical steps, you can get those answers. So this can improve your relationships overall, So, and it's going to directly reflect about your whole life as well, because the sun is in your house, and your self-awareness and plans for yourself, so to speak. I know I'm a bit fuzzy now, so sorry, Pisces and other signs if I'm a little bit more, slow to think about those things. But yeah, so there's focus on relationships there for Pisces, and for Virgo, for Aquarius and Leo, it's focused on finances, give and take between you and others, and practical solutions and manifestations there, and finding out some secrets for the other signs. For Gemini, Sagittarius, it's happening in their, the axis that is connected to work and family life. So they're balancing this out. There's some secrets or some misconceptions there that they become critically aware of, discriminatively aware of, and there's some manifestations in their personal life or their career life or their home. And the next pair of signs is Taurus, Scorpio. Did we say that? It's in their third and in their ninth house that this is happening. Yes, Taurus and Scorpio. It's in the third and ninth house. So discriminating some information, truth, untruth, clash of opinions with others that can happen, but which also leads them to seeing, having a practical resolution from a higher perspective. What are the necessary actions to do? Okay, so I think we covered all the signs. So thank you so much. I was thinking it's going to be a 10-minute video. I always think that. But even if you don't listen to specifically, sometimes the predictions don't specifically come for each sign, basically, but just knowing the energy of the whole week. And as I said, it starts a little bit more stressful. It progresses into very beautiful energy after that, very manifesting. And the full moon is about full material manifestation and discriminating, finding out some truth, finding out some lies, basically something that are not lies or deceptions or misconceptions, and whittling away from that and discriminating that and having material manifestations. So thank you so much. And do check all the webinars that I mentioned about the fixed stars, and there is this webinar with Nicola Stojanovic that's coming. And I will see you very soon next week. Bye-bye.